this one. This is, I don't know what day it is, September something. Oh, it's almost the September 8th. So it'd be September 6th because it's almost Elena's birthday. Hi, she's going to be 16 on Sunday. I have a 16-year-old. There's a lot going on for me personally. So if you're having trouble reaching me, don't take it personally. It's just, we found out yesterday that Dawson's tibia is broken, because that's what happens when you play soccer. And we found out, and Elena turned 16 on Sunday and has said for all summer she doesn't want to party. But I'm still preparing because I'm sure 20 minutes before people show up, she'll be like, oh, by the way, I invited some people over for my birthday. And I'll be like, okay. That's how we roll. So I got a little bit of stuff happening.
What day is Sarah's birthday?
Sarah's is tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's
yeah,
right.
Sarah's is the 7th and Elena's is the 8th. Yep, it's big time. So this is usually a talk back session from what you heard on the first call between me and Andrea, Kathy Lee, and Hoda. But we can answer other questions if you have them. I want to address before we're finished. This is like a 15-20 minute check-in. I want to address before we're finished the contests that some of you are running and Thousand Dares is running, because no matter whose team you're on, we're always hustling towards something. And if you need a little extra incentive, I wanted to kind of fire that up for you as well. So, yeah. So what did you hear on the call? What did you resonate with? What was helpful? What was, where are you at today? Friday, September 6th.
I think the
Am I allowed to say I don't know what call you're talking about?
Yeah. So Amanda, at 7 a.m. Andrea on Fridays, Andrea and I go into the Living Well Now Zoom room. So this one's my Zoom room, and the other one's Living Well Now, and we do a call from 7 to 7:30 on various topics that we decide like 15 minutes before we get on the call. So I will, okay. And those are recorded, and I put them in the Business Builders group. And so you can go back and listen to the one from this morning after we're done, whenever it works for you. But yeah, mark your calendars. So my Friday mornings is like 7 a.m. coaching call, 7:45 with you guys, then workout usually. So I just kind of, you just kind of have to back things up a little bit on Fridays. And then I feel like I've done my work for the day, so I just check it off. John, you were saying?
Your mindset in the ups and downs, and also recognizing, Andy was really helpful. I got to spend some time with him this weekend, and just understanding your normal MLM cycles, and it's not something necessarily to take personal. In those different dips, that you'll get a bump around Christmas time, and then come January, things taper and then ramp up for usually different events or following different events. And so working hard also during those dip times gives an extra added boost when you do get those boost times.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm super focused in September, and our elite leaders have been talking about this too, about September being almost a relaunch, rediscovery month where you've hustled through the summer. Now let's strategize September so that you can hit October, November, December with a lot of push to the end of the year, so that you don't have such a dip in January. So it just lulls instead of crashes. I think last year, the last couple of years, when November has been such high OGV for people and there have been rank advancements and things like that, it almost gives a false sense of security. And people then get freaked out because it falls so far, December and January, that they're like, wow, what do I do now? So I think we're getting smarter about strategizing for how the cycle works, I guess.
Hey, Ange.
Yep.
I really had an emotional response this morning to Andrea saying, take captive every thought and be obedient to Christ. I don't know why it hit me. I just wanted to cry. I'm emotional now. I think just, realizing that's on me, and when I find myself in that place of feeling like I'm not where I want to be, or I'm not doing the things I want to do, I'm responsible for those thoughts. It's as easy as me choosing to turn that around and stand in truth and know that, the things that seem so, what's the word, huge, and like, oh, I can't do that or I can't do that. No, that's a lie. That's all a lie. And I think when we get in that place where that takes over, it's easy to stay in that place if you don't choose to go back to what you know is true. I know that was long and rambly, but it really hit me this morning. I'm like, wow, okay, just change your thoughts. That's pretty simple.
It is and it isn't. And Elizabeth, I know, is doing an Aroma Freedom on Sunday that may be open to more people than, yep. So get connected to Elizabeth for that on Sunday. And we're doing weekly ones starting tomorrow and Saturday afternoons in my Aroma Freedom group. So it is a constant choice and pattern shift of that action. We think we can say it once, or just simply replace the negative thoughts with positive ones and everything comes out okay. But it's a lot of, clearing out what was the old pattern thinking and embracing the new pattern thinking over and over and over and over again. I'll also say Elizabeth introduced me to Insight Timer, which is a meditation app. And I have been using, there's a morning meditation called Abundance Affirmations or something. I don't remember what it's called, but it's an 11-minute, this is awesome. It's an 11-minute meditation. And I'm not a meditator. I'm not a quiet meditator. But I put my makeup on and do my hair in that 11-minute time frame that I'm listening. And for the last 3 minutes is when I just stop, because I'm usually finished by then. So that's pretty good, right? I get all my stuff done in 8 minutes. So the last 3 minutes, I find myself just stopping, putting on, like the beginning, I put on an oil because it says, it does a deep breath sort of thing. And I realized that I need to stop and put an oil on. Transformation is usually one of those, or Believe. Put the oil on, start the meditation, do my hair and makeup, and then spend the last couple of minutes just in meditation of like, where have I just been? What's my, what's the mindset that I'm replacing here? Smell the oil again. What's my affirmation going forward? And that's been just a couple of weeks that I found that particular one, but I've been super consistent with it. And I feel like I've got a couple more weeks left. I'm kind of telling you this, I guess, for accountability to say, wow, I choose for more of that mindset replacement in my life.
What was the name of that app?
Insight Timer.
We could be friends on there.
Yeah, Elizabeth's my only friend on there.
I
You
go
can actually
through.
like meditate in community, and there's like cool things you can do.
Well, I go through at the end of a meditation and I thank everybody. Like you can just click like, thanks for meditating with me. And so all the people that meditated at the same time as me, and then a lot of them I'll be like, because sometimes there's like the mindful hike people, they send you like a little thing every day and it's like, hey, you're awesome. So I like to be friends on there.
And I'm not a paid subscriber, so I'm more like behind the like, all right, cool, yay.
The only thing I get out of being a paid subscriber is when I go on airplanes, I can be in airplane mode and I can turn a meditation on. And for me, airplanes used to be a really difficult thing and they're not anymore. But I do that. So it's like $2 a month, I think. But that way I can listen to it on the airplane.
And it's got great music for yoga too, Elizabeth.
Yes.
If you've got a 6-minute class, you could use, you can find specifically music for 70 minutes. So that way you've got music while people are finishing, putting their stuff away. And yeah, it's not just done when class is done.
Yeah, I use for my work sessions, Brendan Burchard says to do 50-minute, blocks of time. So there's one called Floating, which is like, it's a music meditation called Floating, and it's like 59 minutes or something. So that's usually my timer. Like I put that on as my timer for my work sessions.
That's a good one too. I like the floating one, but I do it as a meditation and you feel it.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, Elizabeth.
I'm just using all of these alongside my busy life. Whatever.
I like it. I love it.
So what I'm hearing from your subscription, Elizabeth, is that you and I can share earbuds on the plane to the Silver Retreat, and I'll
I
meditate.
mean, absolutely.
That's about how long that flight is. That'll be perfect. So, Ange, can we?
I was going to say, let's come back to our six classes. Is that where you were going to go, Liesl?
This Ruby? Yeah, that's totally where I was going to go.
I didn't do it. I had every intention. I never got it done. I'm going to be the first one to admit it. I've looked at it and I've realized it, and I've done all the excuses. I'm the girl. Anybody else?
I have 5.
5 classes?
I'm waiting, well, they're not all classes. Like, I'm meeting up with people, and then I'm waiting to hear back from somebody for a one-on-one.
Tanya, you almost got there. Good job.
I have 6
You have
things.
6?
Mhm.
Awesome, Amanda. Okay.
4 online classes, 1 in-person class, and a make and take.
Nice.
All right, I have 5, but I'm counting it as 6 because I'm meeting with 2 people that are one-on-ones together at the same time. So I'm like, that's 6. I'm going to stretch the rules a little bit.
1 on 2.
That's right. Yeah, I've got a hosted DIY. What was that? Yeah, don't go there. Whatever that was. I don't know what that was. But yeah, I have a hosted intro make and take, a hosted intro modified like DIY, a rollerball class that I put out there that will be an intro. And
What's the
then
name of that class again?
they see me rolling. Yeah. Which, by the way, if you don't know, the song, very dirty lyrics. I didn't know that when I called it that. And then I have 3 one-on-one set up. So I'm just waiting on confirmation of time. But yeah, I'm super excited. I couldn't not schedule them since I threw it out there to y'all.
Yeah, you had to.
Right? I just would have looked bad.
Well, and here's my other admission. Like, I have 6 meetups scheduled for September and 6 classes and that kind of thing. But not all of them know that it's a 101. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a explicit, like, I'm going to introduce you to Young Living. Like, and that's important, I think, as we move into into activating enrollments and follow-up and ranking people to star, being very intentional about our language with that. For sure.
So I have, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
I have 9 different classes either put in or follow-ups and meetups with different people this month.
So some that are already members and some that are brand new, Christina?
Yeah, tomorrow I have a follow-up with a girl that just got her kit last week. Her kit came in yesterday, and so I'm doing a follow-up with her. And then tomorrow is a one-on-one at a restaurant. And then my other ones, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that are classes, one-on-one classes. But it's all going to be based on the starter kit, but one is like oils and kids. And then another one is just coffee chat. And then another one is on the 17th with you. And then in the evening on the 17th, I have a cleaning in abundance. So using like the thieves and everything, but talking about the whole premium starter kit. And then the 23rd is fall into wellness. And then the 29th is everything thieves. But it's like doing the premium starter kit first.
So Liesl, I'm just going to toss it back to you because you said you had a couple things that were hosted. Thanks, Christina. How do you turn around? Like, it's one thing to put these dates on our calendars and set up events. How do we what's the next step in making those successful ventures and not just sort of like deer in the headlights events?
So I think number one is kind of knowing who you're reaching out to and what's in it for them. So it kind of speak their language. So I have one friend that just wants to help me out and host a class and introduce me to a new circle. Awesome. I have another girl that wants to launch a business, and she's registered for Rock. And she's, I mean, brand new. And so she's hosting a class. So I think the biggest things when you're having someone host is stay in close contact with them, make sure they understand how to invite, make sure they understand the end objective. Like, for example, one of the girls that's hosting a DIY make and take, no matter how many times I've said, let's keep it simple, let's do this, let's do that, she's printed all these extra recipes, she's done all these extra things, and I have to keep bringing her back to, let's remember why we're doing this. It's intro kit, it's intro kit. And she's like, but I ordered all these extra oils, and I'm going to have out all these extra oils, so they have all these extra options. So just making sure you and the host are very clear. What's our end objective? It's helping people get a kit, right? Yes, I love your ideas you have. Let's do that as a follow-up later down the road. So just be clear about your expectations, make sure they understand how to invite properly with a personal invite, then, and asking them on the Facebook event, literally give them the words, send them the words in Messenger and give them a couple different options and say, or text it to them, personal invite, this is what you send to your people, give them the steps, then you ask them on Facebook, then you send them the link, stay in contact with your people, and then make sure you're engaging with their friends ahead of time and have them edify you. So if you have like a Facebook event, make sure that you're doing an introduction. Hey, this is me and so-and-so. If you have a picture of the two of you together, show that so that they know, their friends know going in, this isn't just some boob off the street. This is some person I actually know and have a relationship with. I trust this person, and this is why you should listen to them.
I love that. Thank you for those tips. That's really, really helpful. We've all had classes where we've planned it and nobody shows up. I will also tell you that. So be prepared for those experiences as well. And that's when you enlist the help of your family to sit on the couch and listen to you give your presentation anyway. Or there have been times when I haven't had anyone show up in person and I just turn the live camera on and I do a live in the event, or say, you couldn't come here tonight, but you can totally listen in to what I would have presented had you been in my living room. So you don't need to, I think that's one of the benefits of online, or I guess opportunity to push information online, is because back in the day you would drive hours to a presentation, and if nobody came, then you were discouraged, or you wasted a 200-mile trip or something like that. This way you're maximizing what that looks like. Nan, I know you're putting good information in the chat. I have to pull that up. She's doing some classes and online classes. She's not letting the host create the event, so that the host can be, the person who's hosting is the co-host. And so then you control what the wording is. My cousin just had a Noonday party, a Noonday collection party. Noonday is she hosted an online trunk show. It's another MLM that focuses on jewelry made in developing countries. And she sent out a Facebook message and added us all to this group. I never joined the group, but the host of the party messaged me separately and said, hey, Kristen's trunk show is about to close. Here's the link to order. And by golly, that got me. I was like, all right, click. I'm going to help my cousin. I'm going to click and order. And so if there are ways that you're doing online, that kind of thing, and people will sometimes order retail. That's not the best way to come in, but it's better than losing a potential customer, I think, sometimes too. I think we have to, really work to get people in there to understand wholesale membership and all of that. But there's also an angle, an opportunity too, to just tell people, here's your opportunity to be a retail customer and pay a lot more than the rest of us.
And can you expand on what you said a few minutes ago about when you have meetings with people and sometimes they don't know that you're going to be talking and living with them? How do you shift from, hey, we're hanging out having coffee, to, hey, this is my business?
I think you have to set the intention before you go in. So I have a friend, and you know, it's funny as you're talking about the different kind of opportunities you guys have going on right now. If I counted mine up, I did have somebody like I do have 6 after I, you know, my one-on-ones and whatever. But I think the one woman that I'm meeting with next week, I've told her that we're getting together because her daughter's going through a really stressful marriage right now. And we connected about it last spring, and we just haven't come back around to talk about it. She also has a really powerful Young Living story. The mom does. So as part of my text with her to like confirm our time, I'll say, hey, and I do want to come circle back around, right? Or I do want to spend a few minutes with you, you know, checking in, but I also want to tell you about some things I'm excited about in my business. Does that make sense? So I feel like you can't, I hate being the one that like feels awkward the whole meeting. Like, how am I going to bring oils into this? How do I, you know, talk about oils in this? And there are some times that I don't. It's purely a social meetup.
And you're not ambushing people like, oh, I'm so glad we're having coffee to hang out. Let me tell you about my business.
Right.
That's
the worst feeling in the world. And I think it sets a terrible precedent. So if your intention is, you know, I'm trying to get a date on a calendar with a woman who contacted me about getting started, and it's not a priority to her right now. So I'm not spending a whole lot of time there. I'll contact her again today and say, hey, I'm planning my schedule for the next 2 weeks. You know, what do you have? You know, are you still wanting to connect about this? Is this still important to you? But then it's established. You know, I'm not just getting together for her to, you know, kind of whatever. It's established, like what the purpose is. You know, not that I don't like spending time with you, but we had an intention to do, you know, to talk oils. I will say I also let those come up naturally. I was on the phone with somebody last night who is facing some really tough stuff right now. And so I said, hey, I don't want to, and I also front load, I don't want to sound super salesy about this. You know what products Young Living has, but we do have this new product, Illuminize, that may be helpful for X, Y, and Z. You know, I'll send you some information tomorrow about it. And then I just went on to the rest of the conversation. So I think you can do it. I think you can do it with tact and grace and without being spammy. But I also think it's important to learn, that we are, you know, accept that we do have, you know, we do have a sales element to what we do as well.
I think if our intention is always what's in it for them, keeping it on them and not about us, that makes it easier for sure. And this is such a part of my life that it's hard that it would not come up in normal conversation. If I'm having coffee with a friend that's a realtor, she's going to tell me about, you know, what's going on with her business, or, I mean, any business, you know, or something that they're loving, or you're just using your oils. You know, when I fill my Hydro Flask at Starbucks, I take out Citrus Fresh Vitality. It goes in there. You know what I mean? It's, yeah, Vitality. Oops. So I guess I don't think too much about it. I just kind of be me, and it comes up for me. I don't know.
Yep. And I think, Elizabeth, you're that way too. I think this is just great coaching to come back to somebody who listens to this, or you all that are listening that are newer, you know, to just be super upfront. And then it takes off the pressure, right? You can even lead with it, because otherwise you sit through the whole meeting going, how am I going to bring this up? How am I going to bring this up? This is supposed to be my one-on-one. And I'm not even bringing it up. I don't even know what to say right now. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Well, I like how you said that you front load it. Like you tell them beforehand. The way that you said it a few minutes ago made it sound like you ambush people, and I was like, that's not what you do.
That's what we don't want to do. Yeah. That's absolutely what we don't want to do.
That's why I circled back to it.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to go do my abundance meditation now and get ready for the rest of my day. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. So I wrote down Amanda had her 6, Tanya had her 6, Christina had her 6. Nan, I know you did. Yay. Liesl, you got yours done. I'm close on mine. So I'll go back to our rules of engagement. If everybody gets an abundance oil, or if one person gets an abundance oil, I'm not sure what we're doing with that. So I'll figure that out and get you all abundance in some capacity. And then we'll meet again next Friday after the 7 a.m. call. Go and captive your thoughts, or go take captive of your thoughts, however that looks for the weekend, so that you can stay focused on the success that is coming to you. Yep, that's what I got.
Thanks, Ange.
Thank you.
Thank you.